Whoa. First, I don't know who the first commenter is today, but today is a fun day. First of all, both our hats are backwards, which means we mean business. Talking about $1,000 car payments, the Chrysler 200, and music in the showroom.
People really want to know who
Excited about that last.
I feel like a Thursday kind of show.
It does feel like a Thursday show.
Although it feels like a Tuesday still for me. I don't know what day it is.
I think it's Monday. No, Tuesday. No.
Yesterday was Monday. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Friday. We just, fourth on a Wednesday just doesn't work for me.
No.
Or Tuesday, whatever.
Yeah, he's like, still doesn't know.
See, I still don't know.
What you did to me, you 4th of July. Unbelievable.
We showed up this morning, and me, you, and Nathan, our producer, we all have the hats on backwards.
All backwards.
And it's like a nonverbal communication where our brain is in a mode when we have the hats backwards. It's really strange.
There's like if you know about wearing a flat bill, if you run fast with a flat bill forward, that thing's flying off every single time.
Oh, that's
right?
a great way to put this.
So it's like if you turn it around, you can run faster and go, and that's just like that's the mode. If the backwards hat
great way to
up
put
in the morning, it's like here we
give
go.
us the headwinds. We got it. No problem. Not a problem. Oh man, what are we talking about today, man? The guest list for ASOTU CON keeps every day. People are saying yes. Like the first 50 people that we ask, like people are like, yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. And we have public groups represented. We have major publications represented. We have major organizations represented. We got a really fun former employee of Tesla represented. We're going to save all the fun announcements because we're going to drop like our first 20 or so speakers. And so if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, now's a great time to get your ticket. I know it seems like it's far away, right? It's 80 some days away, but this summer is going to be over before you know it. And the tickets are going to be sold out. So if you're in this crew where you're listening to this at this point, please be there with us. Not to mention, we only have like 200 rooms in the primary hotel and they're going to go lightning fast. Yep. Yeah. You want to be in that hotel. I mean, the other hotels are fine, but coming down the escalator and seeing all your people in the morning. Yeah, sort of money's that. Yeah, last year we had half the attendance at ASOTU CON. So this year we're probably going to be pushing 800. Last year we had like half of that, less than half of that. And we sold out 195 rooms real quick in the main hotel. So if that's not an indicator.
Come on. Got to be in Baltimore. Don't worry. You don't have to go to downtown Baltimore.
Nope. No, hit the airport. The airport's south of the city. And then you land and you go further south. So closer to DC. It's easy. 5 minutes. We want you to get there quick. Easy. Right? None of this hour in traffic nonsense. All right, let's talk about some news today.
Get into it. Come on. All
right. Q2 of 2023 delivered an unprecedented news that 1/5 of all new car buyers, 20%, now have monthly payments over $1,000 a month. How about that? Oh man, it's in the wrong way. Must be the money in the wrong way. This is obviously due to higher car prices, higher borrowing rates. This information, according to Edmunds, the average monthly car payment now has hit a all-time high of $733 amidst inventory shortages. The average loan amount exceeds $40,000 for the 5th consecutive quarter. And here's the thing, of the 20% of people who have $1,000 plus month payment, the largest group of those, 65% of those people signed up for an average loan term of 67 to 84 months. So it's not even like they have $1,000 payment because they're like, we're going to pay the sucker off in 36 months.
No.
48 months. No, they have an average APR of between 8 and 9.6%. And they're stretching it out, which means negative equity is on its way back, folks.
It's coming. It is coming hard and fast.
The average APR overall is 7.1%. And this is the highest since the fourth quarter of, get this, 2007.
I don't know if anyone remembers 2008.
Oh boy.
Here's, it's wild. So like back in the day when not many vehicles approached $100,000 and I was selling Nissans, and we always messed around. We were like, who would buy a Nissan GTR? It's basically like a mortgage payment, right?
Right.
It's like, this is just normal. 1/5, 20% of people just making mortgage and rent payments on their car out there. I think that there's a couple interesting facts there. Is like, yes, it's higher car payments, but we're just seeing a greater amount of people that are high income earners, high credit rating, continuing to buy vehicles, and so affordability is less of a factor there. But it, like, the trickle down effect of an average payment still being $733 is saying, like, hey, affordability trickling down the line is getting harder and harder to map to for the majority of consumers. And growing interest rates, average APR is up high. It's just something to be on the lookout for. And I think, like you said, the biggest thing to be on the lookout for is how to educate customers about their potentially large negative equity over the next 18 to 24 months as they're coming into like the next buying cycle. You know, we're going to see this, like, what, 3.2 year average on typical buying cycles. We're coming right up to that, where we're getting close to that 3-year timeline on the early pandemic stuff. And so you want to start to look out for these patterns of customers just starting to need to understand what their equity situation has an impact on their purchasing opportunity on the other side.
Man, the next 12 months is going to be a real regulating 20 months as this cycle continues, as new car inventory starts to catch up, as used cars values begin to change substantially. There's an article, we didn't put it in today. It was about used car prices are high and they're never going back down. It was like a New York Times article, and Kevin Fry was like, let me put a little asterisk on that. Let's remember that there were millions of cars that should have been and weren't produced during the pandemic, which might have something to do with used car values right now. New York Times. What do you know about the car business?
Yeah, no, it's a big factor. Like, we're still recovering the rental car inventory gap. Still today is still getting recovered. Like, it is not completely recovered. So wild.
Speaking of rental cars,
give it
Stop.
Segue.
Time.
Oh, so good. As the Q2 reports are rolling in still, Stellantis actually had a little blip on their report. And everyone's like, what is that little blip? It turns out it's the fact that they sold a total of 1 Chrysler 200s. Yes, the Chrysler 200 is still being sold new and still being reported on Stellantis's quarterly sales reports. So it was actually a 2016 model year. So somebody walked and this was sold to a person, right? It's not like a rental car company, but like, yeah, you know, I want to go back and get some more of those Chrysler 200s. A person went into a dealership, I guess allegedly, and was like, that's the one for me. 2016 Chrysler 200. So we don't know where it was sold or to whom, but the average MSRP, I looked this up, was $26,000 on those cars. And they're selling right now with 100,000 miles on a Chrysler 200. They're still selling for like half of, like 13 grand, 14
That's
grand.
Unbelievable.
What in the world?
Like,
how long is a Chrysler 200 that had legendary transmissions issues? How long is that sucker lasting after 100,000 miles?
There's no way that's not even happening. To have a $13,000 2016 or older Chrysler 200 with over 100,000 miles that's not at a junkyard is kind of mind-boggling to me. I'm gonna throw a hunch out there. Somebody in 2016 was like, the parts guy needs a demo, and they were like, what are we gonna give the parts guy? Let's give him the Chrysler 200.
Let's give him the green Chrysler 200.
Right. That dude, every parts dude that I've ever known is like just content with life. My man drove that thing for 100,000 miles from 2016 to now.
The dealer's like, we got to get this off the books.
Still a new unit, got to get it off the books. Whoops, there it went. I'm telling you,
it's owned by the,
and you'll find it connected to a parts dude's demo.
If for some reason somebody out there can figure this out for us, we will have them on the show. Period.
Absolutely.
They're coming on the show. Like, if that's not a celebrity in the making, especially if it's a parts guy, Kyle, if it's a parts guy, like, I'm sending you a gift card because that is just so on the nose. But as you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, that probably is exactly what happened. Because no one's going in to pay $26,000 or $24,000 or $20,000 for a Chrysler 200. Or maybe they just had it like stocked in the parts department, right? They're like, we're going to hang on to this one because we know we're going to need a transmission, and they're slow, so they just kept it. It's like their parts vehicle.
Right. It was they were parting the whole thing out. Yeah, exactly. We have no good transition to the next story.
Oh, so that's music to my ears.
More fun than that one.
Speaking of music to our ears.
Stop.
Yeah. There you
Segue.
Time.
So recent research reveals that in-store music can actually boost weekday sales by over 10%, as tunes seem to uplift weary work week shoppers. However, the same melody might not have a similar impact on the weekend crowd and actually could even be distracting. Okay, so the study analyzed over 150,000 shopping trips in a Swedish. Okay, so we'll take it.
That's a lot of shopping trips, by the way.
That's a lot of shopping trips in Sweden. I will say that.
That's the whole population.
Yes, in Stockholm, and found that shoppers from Monday to Thursday tend to be mentally tired, and pleasant music actually enhances their mood, making purchasing decisions more instinctive. However, on Fridays, shoppers are happier, less hurried, making them less affected by like a subconscious marketing through in-store music. So we've seen studies like this in the past where music actually changes the mood or the shopping behavior of people based on like the type of music or the volume that it's played at. So like research has shown over and over that paying attention to the music and the vibes and how it interacts with your guests can definitely impact shopping behavior. I've seen this firsthand, Paul, like just because we do a lot of video shoots and we've been in marketing for a long time. Like you watch kind of like the mood in a showroom when music is on, to all of a sudden the producer's like
awkward,
music off, and like
awkward,
kind of looks around like, am I talking too loud?
Are
right?
we working or what?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Is this a museum? I think of the people who understand playlists. I think of DJs. I'm thinking of the book we've been going through. We're going to actually start an ASOTU book club, legit, where we go through this book on reasonable hospitality.
Yep.
Where the restaurateur that had the best restaurant in the world, Will Guidara, talked about how the music transitions throughout the evening because people are in different modes throughout the experience and how it's subconsciously registered. So without a doubt, this makes all the sense in the world. I'm trying to think if I've ever been in a dealership that's been that intentional about their playlist.
No,
but I think about when there's chaos, right? If you add like upbeat, positive music to the chaos, it actually seems more chaotic.
Well, that's the thing. Like on a Saturday, if you think about just the energy and how many people are around, like thinking about just, oh my goodness, if it's like full on rock jams,
you're mentally
like
stimulated 80s, like to a high level already.
What is happening all around me? I can't even concentrate. I can't even focus. So thinking about that, like
what would be your choice for a Saturday? It's almost like classical music.
Yeah, like I think that might like pull it down a little bit too much, but like some nice like Americana
jazz
acoustic music.
Oh, I like this. Like, there's a little like, Nashville coming through here.
You know, like just like smooth, easy listening Americana type. You know,
actually, we just need to send Al Kutri to your store, and Al Kutri can just blow the horn in the corner a little bit. And just have people in the mode. But hey, I mean, it's a great opportunity, I think, for dealers who are retailers to just get a little more intentional about what's playing in your store right now. If you're in your store right now, just be like, what's playing? Look at people's faces, feel the attitude. And then when it gets, in a different state, if it gets busier, if it gets slower. I mean, most dealers I know are pretty good at controlling the music from their phone. Some are really bad at it. Like, I can tell a story about Patrick. We're in the store in the morning shooting the next More Than Cars episode with Patrick. And he's like, oh, you need the music off? No problem. Like Patrick's like, I'm going to get this done kind of guy. And he's on his phone for like, a minute or two. And then the music goes off. But also what goes off?
Everything.
All the TVs, all of this. He just hit the full like blade kill switch. Like, it was like powering down the Death Star. And his IT guy came in and it was still like, it was 3 hours later. He's like, we're almost there. We're almost there. I was like, does he always do stuff this? He's like, job security. Yes. Job Patrick security, is like, exactly. we're gonna shut this thing down.
I think that this is like, I think at minimum you could do like an early morning, a mid-morning, an early afternoon, and a late afternoon kind of playlist. And here's the other part. You know what that would help? Your poor employees that hear the same 83 songs played over and over and over. They might actually have some energized feeling.
Oh, right. You get them going as well. Brian Ortega obviously just lands the winner, Yacht Rock, when we're saying, like, what do we play? I could just hit, when I don't got to say.
Yes.
That's the one. All right, we're gonna keep seeing. But look, that's enough from us for today. You have work to go. You have a playlist to curate. You have an ASOTU CON ticket to buy, and you have people to serve. I mean, that's a great list for today. Playlist, ASOTU CON ticket. Go love some people. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh.